Hello, this is Clean Coach Carly. I'm the staff nutritionist at Healthy Habits Living, and I'm talking today about nootropics or brain boosting supplements. So, nootropics is just a fancy word for a nutrient or a supplement that improves your brain health. And when we have improved brain health, we're looking for maybe a reduction in symptoms or an increase in our attention or improved learning or recall or even blood flow to the brain if some of the areas of the brain have been injured or are receiving less blood flow due to ADHD or some other kind of diagnosed condition. So there are some simple nutrients that we all need for our everyday health that are also nootropics or brain supplements. So those two are fish oil and magnesium. Now these two nutrients benefit you in so many ways, but let's talk about how they benefit your brain. Well, first of all, fish oil is in every single cell in your body. So of course it's in your brain cells. Remember that 60% of your brain in volume is made out of fat, and fish oil, of course, is omega-3 fatty acids. So of course we need a lot of fat for our brains. So fish oil is a great supplement to take for improving brain health or maintaining already very healthy brain health. Now, 1,000 milligrams or 1 gram is sort of the recommended dose for general maintenance or health. That is usually 1 or 2 capsules. But studies show that for improving attention and or mental health conditions, you want to take up to 6 grams. So that can be around 6 capsules, or if you're taking a liquid, it might be up to a tablespoon. So check your fish oil supplement, and of course, always improve your eating habits and add in more healthy, sustainable, wild-caught fish. The second brain nootropic is magnesium L-threonate. Now, magnesium, as I've talked about many times, has so many uses and is so important in our bodies. It's theorized that most people, like 85%, are deficient in magnesium. And this is because of our high stress lifestyle, which uses our magnesium reserves. And it's also because the way we farm our foods in the US, specifically our vegetables, depletes the soils of magnesium. So the soil that the vegetable is grown in doesn't have a lot of magnesium, and therefore your vegetable doesn't end up with very much magnesium. So it seems like we're all in need of magnesium. I can't think of anyone who I haven't recommended it to. Now, magnesium L-threonate is the form that crosses the blood-brain barrier. So not all of your magnesium forms will get into your brain, but magnesium L-threonate is the one that has been shown to cross the blood-brain barrier and can help with neuronal synapses. So that's basically the brain cells having a good connection. So I recommend magnesium L-threonate for general brain health, and I also recommend it for increased learning and memory and for people who have a lot of anxiety. I actually recommend magnesium L-threonate for the brain for anxiety and magnesium glycinate or glycinate for the rest of the body if you have a high stress or anxious type of lifestyle. Now, the next couple nutrients are not particularly well known, and they're very specific to your brain. So the first one is coffee fruit extract. Now, this is the fruit that surrounds that little tiny bean that you make the coffee out of. So this is a red fleshy fruit, very high in antioxidants, which is going to help your overall health and of course your brain health. But the big thing that it does is that it's high in BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. So this allows the nerves in your cells in your brain to be cushioned and also to be healthy and supported. So again, so they can communicate back and forth. So coffee fruit extract helps support your own body creating more BDNF, which is that brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which is protecting the nerves in the brain. Now, it's important to note that there is a microscopic amount of caffeine in coffee fruit extract. It's nothing like drinking a cup of coffee, which usually has anywhere between 50 and 175 grams of caffeine, depending on the size. Usually a capsule of coffee fruit extract has around 5 milligrams. So even if you're sensitive to caffeine, it's unlikely that you will be stimulated enough to even feel any effects. The other nutrient that is Newer to the table in terms of research and people talking about it is phosphatidylcholine. Now, we've always used phosphatidylcholine in our brains, so this isn't new. Our bodies will make phosphatidylcholine out of choline that we eat in our diets. But as many times in things, we often have a very low choline intake in our diets. And so that means we're low in phosphatidylcholine in our bodies and specifically in our brains. Now, phosphatidylcholine, like all nutrients, you can find the good, the bad, and the ugly. So I only recommend Nutrisol's phosphatidylcholine liquid or capsules. This is the only one that is a standardized extract. It's imported from Europe, and most of the medical studies have been conducted with this particular formation because it is so highly absorbable, and again, it's a standardized extract. So you might go to the store and find like a lecithin supplement that has phosphatidylcholine in it, but you don't even know what milligram dosage you're getting or how much you're getting. So I recommend Nutrisol's phosphatidylcholine for brain health, something that I take every day. The last nutrient is, again, a little bit newer to the table in terms of talking about it for brain health, and this is creatine. Now, again, creatine is made in our own bodies when we eat the right amino acids in order to form creatine. But a lot of us are deficient in protein or amino acids, or we're eating proteins that are not complete. So it's hard for our bodies to form this molecule that we call creatine. So creatine monohydrate is a powder usually. You can get it in capsule. I recommend it in powder because it is tasteless and it's much less expensive when you get a powder versus a capsule. Now, you want to start with around 3 grams or 3,000 milligrams of creatine. People who are prone or very sensitive to supplements or prone to anxiety can experience some rushes of anxiety if you start on a high dose of creatine. So I recommend starting at 3 grams and working your way up to 20 grams. And you can do that in divided doses. Most people do between 10 and 14 grams as a loading dose. So you'll start at 3 grams and work yourself up to a loading dose around 20 grams. And you'll stay at that for about 14 days. This is to restore the stores of creatine that should already be in the body, in the cells, and in the muscle tissue. Once you have loaded for about 2 weeks, then you can decrease down to around 10 grams, kind of just depending on your body weight. I like to use Thorne creatine monohydrate because, again, it doesn't have any fillers or binders or any flavors or any sweeteners, and it is tasteless and very easy to mix. So those are my top 5 brain nootropics, brain supportive cognitive enhancers. Magnesium and fish oil are good for a lot of other things in your body. Coffee fruit extract is high in antioxidants, so good overall for your body, but particularly helpful for brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Phosphol, good for all your cells in your body, but remember it's a fat, so it's going to be used a lot in your brain because we have a lot of fat in our brains. And then finally, creatine, used in your muscles as well, but more and more studies coming out showing that it is helpful for psychiatric symptoms, depression, anxiety, and also shown to slow down the growth or the increase in problems in Parkinson's disease and Alzheimer's disease. So those are my top memory enhancers, cognitive support, nootropic supplements. Here at Healthy Habits Living, we're always here to help you with the best information to optimize your life and your brain health. We're always here to help you get healthy so you can stay healthy and be healthy.